You suck.
Trying to get out.
Bring him right in. What are you waiting? He's standing out there. What the heck's going on? Holy shit! What, everyone lose their brains today? What's up?
What's going on?
Y'all look dead early in the morning, man.
Oh, it sucks, believe me.
Just look at me like, why I'm so energetic.
It's no treat to wake up early.
No, not at all. We're checking out the video game. It looks great, man. It looks great.
This looks so goddamn cool.
How do you get out of this? We're trying to get out of this room so we can get into the strip club, and he's just running. He's just shooting himself and shooting through the bars and not getting out.
We just want to go into the strip club and check out the.
You just want to go to the strip club?
Yeah, we want to check out the broads in the strip club.
Eyes.
I'm still finding myself around the game too.
Yeah. Do you play video games?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
My son is just a fanatic right now, though. I mean, I guess it's where I was at that age. I was 12, I was crazy. That's when it was, one joystick, one button.
Yeah,
right.
The old Atari game.
ColecoVision.
Yeah, like I took some influences from games that I enjoyed back then and incorporated it in the actual game. So there's a point where you acquire more than you can actually carry, and the object is for you to run, like the game Outrun. So I added that, but of course it's different because of the environment. It's like Humvees, and helicopters, and different things that you can use.
Was that so people don't give you shit? Like, running around the streets with guns.
Well, I don't care.
Yeah, good.
I honestly don't care.
Thank God somebody doesn't care.
You know what I mean? Because no matter what you do, they'll figure out a way.
I got it.
No good. You know what I'm saying? It's like the whole rating mature of actual video games. Like, I didn't create that genre. That was there long before I came, you know what I mean? So, to create, this is what I would be actually entertained by. So, I created something that's actually relevant to me than trying to create something that is PG-13. Like, it's an R-rated film.
It just amazes me that there are people, though, that will try to just take their ethics and morality, and then try to pour it on you and stuff, and take the games and movies and music away from everybody because they have a problem with what they're listening to.
I mean, there's no terminology used in the actual game that isn't used in the film.
Yeah.
Already filmed. So we gotta eliminate cable television, then we gotta turn off the computers because all of these things are being said on the web.
That's it. Just play children's programming all the time, and that'll save the world, apparently.
Was there things that you wanted to do in the game that they said no? Was there anything you suggested that they go like, oh, no, we can't put that in or it'll get sold?
You know what I learned? I learned to let the people who actually do it take the lead.
Yeah.
I walked into the room because Bulletproof, I had so much input that the game didn't come out as good as it could have. This time I came in and I was like, yo, hold on a second.
I'm going to listen.
What is the best possible things that we can actually do? And I kind of let the guys do what they do, and then I added my input to it. Like, the environment is the way it is, because, like, 2 years ago, when I started with Vivendi Universal, and then they merged with Activision, and now with THQ. But when I went inside with them, I had an opportunity to see Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
And to see, I went to perform for the soldiers in Iraq. So I kind of took both of those things. That's what inspired me to be a part of the film project, Home of the Brave. It was myself, Samuel Jackson, Jessica Biel. I had a great director on that project. It was Irwin Winkler. You know, and from that, like, that's what, because this is the most intense situation you could possibly be in. Like, when you've been through some tough periods in your life, you can feel like you've been through it. Until you get there and you realize that they made a conscious decision to be in a life-threatening situation. Right. And that's got to be mentally a lot tougher than what is out there. Like, you don't make choices. Somebody just runs up on you in the street.
Were you scared being over there? I went over there. We did shows in the end of 2003.
Yeah.
And then they started beheading people. And I wouldn't know.
It was crazy over
I was scared to go back over there.
Look, the first thing you said to me is, look, I'm not going to bullshit you. You can die today. As soon as I got out the car, I was like, what the fuck did I come here for?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have went to Dubai. That was my day, like, time off. Then I said, let me go do that with the soldiers. You know what I'm saying? And I come here and go tell me you're not gonna bullshit me. You could die today.
Damn.
You know, but it's interesting. I know the people that I saw there weren't the same people their loved ones miss here. Because your spirit would absolutely have to change to have that much death around you. If you come in a platoon of 45 people and then now it's 30 and then it's 26.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys you know.
Yeah, and then it's 20. So then those guys are writing death notes. Like, if I actually pass away, send this note to my family, and because they see people moving dying around them.
Now, putting a strip club in Iraq, that was definitely a stretch. You had to get one there. There can't be one.
I absolutely needed that. For motivation. I mean, like, what is your motivation? I said, what is my motivation, man?
Are you able in this? Because, like, in GTA, I mean, it's got the same level of graphics as Grand Theft Auto as far as believability, and the shooting is great, because when someone gets shot in this, the blood actually splashes behind and sprays the wall. Are you able to shoot civilians in this too? Because in GTA you could just shoot anything that walks.
Yeah, you can. It's like what's the name? They got the same engine as Gears of War.
Yeah.
Oh, it has Gears of War engine?
Gears of War's good.
That's great.
You got into the club?
I got into the strip club, but they're not really showing that much pussy.
Are you upset?
Is there? You know what? Is there a secret? Can I ask a question though? Because a lot of video games have secret codes where you can type in XXX. Is there a way you can fucking eat some pussy if you type in a secret code? Where you just stick your fucking 9mm in a chick's asshole?
I didn't think about that. Next time.
Next game, there's gotta be one where you just fucking snap your fingers and you just shoot pussy. Just shoot your load all over pussy.
He sent me the code so you could do that.
You remember Tomb Raider used to have a code that you could punch it in and get Lara Croft naked.
Completely
naked. You could see her titties, which was fantastic.
But the graphics weren't that great back then.
It doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. There's something about video games.
Yeah.
You ever play online with and a girl comes on and she's like, "Hey guys." I immediately get a hard on.
Yeah, no shit. And then Chris Hansen comes to your house. You fucking creep.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
She's got to be. No hot chick is playing video games with a bunch of fucking nerds online.
Well, there was one. I'll tell you, there's one girl that was from Australia. She was playing all the time the war game.
Yeah.
And I'm such a creep. I used to, when we'd be in this big battle, everybody be fighting online. I'd make her meet me in like the hut in the back of the map, and just you can make your character squat down, even though it was a fucking another soldier. I'd make her squat down and go back and forth and talk dirty to me.
What's wrong with you? You're out of your mind.
Sometimes when I'm playing Tiger Woods golf, there'll be like a lady in the gallery. That's all I got.
What are you doing?
I got to ask you about it. You're definitely involved in the business end of a lot of what's out there that is marketed as 50 Cent, as you. Do you have to tread a fine line between keeping your credibility with especially your original fans and being a businessman?
Well, for me, it's my personal growth. Like as I get into different things.
But you got to take some shit from people. I'm sure there's
you got people that's gonna hate you for whatever you do. You know what I mean? And then they're not even being conscious of the actual business.
Right.
See, the guy who was in hip hop 10 years ago, if he had the same morals and the things that they consider would give you street credibility and everything, he's completely broke right now.
Yeah.
He's a VH1 special. You know what I mean?
You watch that Hammer special, man. Oh, that hurts.
Like it's crazy. Because he didn't understand brand extensioning. When the business is changing and the marketing dollars are changing. So if the company can't see the same returns off the CD sales, which we know obviously isn't the same, they can't spend the same marketing dollars they could on presenting you to the public as a star.
But who turned you on to vitamin water? Like, who would think to get into that? And what a payday you got for vitamin water.
Initially, vitamin water for me is so basic, man. Like, I went into Walmart, the no frills section. Like, they had toilet paper for 29 cents. So I was like, yo, how much does this cost to make?
It's got to be like nothing.
Yeah, it has to be 9 cents.
They're selling it for 29 cents, right?
Like, and then I'm like, I just want to take 3 of these, put it in a wrapper with a different brand, and move it to the middle of the aisle.
And sell it for 50 cents.
You know what I'm saying?
Holy crap.
That's all I want to do.
That's all you did.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at that, like, and initially look at spring water. You got Poland Spring in the same section for like $2.89, and then you got 59, the same gallon of water for 59 cents, and they say this is spring water too.
Yeah, what's the difference?
So I'm like, I don't know the difference. Me, I'm like, they're both spring water. It's the two different things. It's just which brand are you gonna actually pay for? So I'm saying, like, I wanted to actually go into I just wanted to move the spring water from 59 cents to $1. You know what I'm saying? Like, there had to be a bigger profit margin. If I could just take 59 cents more off of what they already have, and they got that profit point selling it at 59 cents. If I could just move it into the middle and then spend marketing dollars to brand it,
And he's thinking of all this shit when the store manager's following him around the store.
Saying, hurry up and buy. Exactly. Hurry up and buy. So then I explored the possibilities. The vitamin water thing, I came across it in Los Angeles, in the gym, working out. And, I was looking for a supplement for soda. And they had flavor. I had so much water that it just, like, I felt like I wasn't. After a while, you'd be looking like, I don't want that. I want soda, I want sugar.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And then that was the thing that I had in between all of the water that I had while I was training. And then, I did the research. It was a private-owned company based in Queens, and they was providing stock options for their employees to create incentive for them because it was private-owned. And then they allowed me, when I came in, I bought equity from individuals. Because people who go to work live in the now. They say, well, if I sell this, I can move. Junior can have his own room, and we can get a new car now. And they spend the money before they actually get the money. Once they know someone's willing to buy it, and then they sell it.
How did you get educated as far as the business end goes? Because there aren't many people that are that streetwise, and also, I mean, you've been in the shit earlier in your days. We've all heard the stories. When did that happen where now you're talking fucking like stock options and shit?
Well, it's a lot of new information coming at the same time, but if you've always actually wanted those opportunities and didn't have the finances or generate the interest that allow you to be involved in those deals, when the opportunities come, you absorb it and you learn. Like, right, New York City is a million. When the nighttime comes on, every light is representation of a great idea that has no finances to support it.
Yeah.
Wow. You see what I'm saying? Say that again, because I'm completely lost.
I said tonight, when the sun goes down, every light in New York City is representation of a great idea that doesn't have finances to support it. So a lot of people have good ideas, they just don't have the finances or the energy around them to make someone else come in and actually support it. So
there's a chance. You're taking obviously a chance with your backing with the money.
Yeah.
But then you got to make kind of an educated choice.
Absolutely.
If you want to invest in something, the vitamin water was a great idea.
That's not just all 50 cents. See, the public just sees me, but they don't see my attorneys.
There you go.
The team of people that I send to do due diligence on the companies that I associate myself with.
I'd love to see them because mine fucking stink. They got me involved in the stock market 5 months ago. Wow. 5 months ago. Like, it's a great time.
That's true. I just want to get an attorney.
Bobby turned me on yesterday, actually. He's been talking about thisis50.com.
Actually, Patrice turned me on to it, just to give him credit. Patrice O'Neill turned me on to your website. That's a Ning website, right?
Yeah.
It's your own community.
Yeah.
You instead of MySpace, you joined 50 Space.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's doing great, too. Like, I mean, it's an opportunity. Recently, I'm turning it into like a network where things happen weekly. Like, they wait for Pimpin' Curly. Then the following week, it's a new episode. Like, because Rick Ross, like, I don't get anything out of going back and forth with an artist that haven't established themselves as a creditable artist to begin with. But I feel like if I don't compete with artists that challenge me, that I'm feeling like I'm above the actual culture.
Well, can we tell people what the Rick Ross thing is, too? Because there's like a conflict with another rapper, and Bobby turned me on. What you did was what everybody would want to do.
Right.
The guy was, I guess, what was he, just shit-talking you for nothing?
Yeah, he just came pretty much because the album's getting ready to come. He looked for additional publicity by, saying different things. And then he called me Curly. And when you call me Curly, it's like, like Mo, Larry, and Curly. Call me Curly. I said, well,
the F would do that.
I created this character.
Don't call me Shimp, motherfucker.
Curly. And then I started creating these webisodes that happen every week. And it's generating millions and millions of hits.
But you're really embarrassing him because this guy came out and it was, I guess he started something. Yeah. So what you do is, you come on and you go, I'm going to fuck up your life, and which is really unpleasant to hear.
But the seriousness where you went, you know what? Nobody tells. I have no bosses, and I've decided. You actually made a decision
to do it,
to fuck up. You said, I'm going to fuck your life.
Because I'm saying to you right now, I have 90% of my project completed. Only reason why it's not 100% completed is because I have to wait for Dre to be complete what he's doing with M in Detroit before I can have him to focus on everything else to mix the last few pieces of my actual album. So M's album will end up coming out first now because he'll be done by the time I get my hands on Dre.
Right.
So I make good music away from him, but when me and Dre are together, it's something organically it happens that I want to see happen on this project. So I'll wait. I'll be patient. So while you do that, this guy decides to jump out there at a time that I have idle time. I will fuck you up. I will sit there and figure out how to fuck your life up.
Now you got time to give it a little thought.
He said I have disposable cash to fuck another human being's life up. That's just
crazy. Like, I mean, you picked the wrong time. Bad time.
So if you had stuff to do, you'd be like, you'd let it go.
Yeah, but I tapped him and just kept it moving. But now I'm gonna beat his ass.
Jimmy, get into what he did.
It's not.
This is amazing.
It's the stuff you'd want to do because immediately you think, like, all right, there's two rappers going at it. There's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
This is just embarrassing shit. He takes the guy's ex-girlfriend, the mother of the guy's son's mother, flies her in and takes her and her girlfriend out on a shopping spree.
He wasn't doing it. He wasn't doing it. Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, but you had her. You interviewed her like a talk show.
Yeah, you see me very serious.
You were so serious. It was like a regular talk. It was like Charlie Rose. He was so serious. He would ask her a question, and then he would look right into the camera and just let her answer about him not paying child support. His jewelry's rented.
Yeah.
He loves this.
This guy's a joke. I mean, it's seen before to the highest level. Like, I've seen a lot of guys to the highest level. Like, this guy's the biggest fraud we've seen thus far. Like, if you go from, the guy was a correctional officer, and he writes from the perspective of the biggest drug dealer in Miami. Now, we know Miami is a port when it comes through there, and we know how, people, like, the way they love Scarface, his infatuation with that got him, he done created this new character. Actually, the guy name that he took, Rick Ross, Freeway Rick, he gets out next month. 18 years, he's going to be knocking on his door like,
Take my name, mother.
Yeah.
He gets out.
And you're a correctional officer, and you decide to stop working corrections in order to go rap as if you're the biggest drug dealer in Miami.
But you had a photo of him. You had a photo of him when he got his diploma as a corrections officer, shaking this old white woman's hand, and he's got the biggest shit-eating grin, like, I did it, Mom.
I did it, Mom.
But he doesn't fit in his outfit either.
It's amazing. I mean, then he had the nerve to say I don't dress good. I think I dress good.
No one in here is going to argue.
We're not gonna argue.
Don't you worry about
He said I didn't dress good. And then he mentions Gucci,
Mr.
Fendi, all of these high-end brands, when we know that they got European cut. He can't fit in none of that shit. He got to shop in big and tall. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
he had a picture of his mom too. That was fucked up. He actually said he had a picture of him with his mom, but it was one of those photos they were eating. They just were eating at a table, and he's
clumps.
Yeah, the clump. He goes, look, he looks like the Nutty Professor.
Yeah, crazy.
Can I ask you, with all the attention you're giving him, does that help him?
Well, it doesn't. See,
you don't think it does? Because they always say, even bad publicity is good.
Yeah, bad publicity is good when you not at a time when you actually your material isn't generating interest.
Right, because I didn't know the guy's name until today.
Right, so what happens is you're aware of him, so you're going to notice his record sales are super low. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, because it's not enough for you to go buy his record because you didn't hear a song that made you feel like you should be interested. You just heard he was talking to 50. So at the end of the day, like, the record sales come in and they go, wow, so you really suck. You sold like 30,000 records.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Now with shit like this, pulling stuff like that, obviously, especially from past events and things that have happened, you got to kind of be concerned that somebody's going to snap and take a shot at you.
Ever since Biggie and Tupac had their issues, it altered the entire art form.
Yeah.
Because hip-hop is the competitive nature of the art form. It always had battling as a part of the culture. You know what I'm saying? And if you got someone that isn't intelligent enough to draw lines, then we're in danger.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you got people that cross those barriers and those spaces, then you got issues. But
do you know people that, you could completely fuck with and they won't They won't do anything. And then, do you know other people that's like, you better, this guy will fucking
This is the guy
shot at me.
I'm the guy that you don't really do that with.
You fucking idiot.
What are you talking about?
Unlimited expenses.
You've been shot. I mean, it's you don't get to talk to many people who have actually, who for all intents and purposes shouldn't have made it. And you got shot more than once.
Yeah.
And here you are, and you do $100 million with Vitamin. It's like, do you ever look at your life and go like, why the fuck did this happen, or how is this?
I know that I'm crazy, right? Because I know that I convinced myself that these things were going to happen long before anything came to pass. So like my grandparents look at me like, okay, we understand now, but I was absolutely crazy to them. Like I got shot, I came back, I lost my record deal, everything. I'm not at Columbia anymore, and I'm by the radio mumbling.
Wait, did Columbia just pull the deal because they
just
thought it was
didn't
bad to be
talk
involved?
to me anymore?
Okay.
Like after that, I got shot. So I was like, I'm by the radio mumbling, but what I'm mumbling is, get rich or die trying. You see what I'm saying? So to my grandparents at that point, while I'm there, it's like, poor baby, he had a shot at it. He had something. But for me, I don't take no as an answer. When you come from where I come from, there ain't no plan B. You gotta make it. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of other people, they'll create the excuses. They'll create reasoning for why they're not supposed to make it in their lives because they don't have things like, if you grew up in a household with one parent, a single parent. Where I'm from, that happens so common that you can't use that as an excuse.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't use minor things like that. Like, so you lose your legs, so what? You get a chair and go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. The rest of the world doesn't either.
You could just look at everything that's happened in your past and say, like, that brought you where you are now.
Absolutely.
And educated you to bring you to where you are now. So there's no real looking back and regretting anything.
No regrets at all.
No regrets?
You know what I think? I think the things you go through make you who you are and shape you as a person. So those experiences allowed me to become what I am now. And I look at, when you say, where you headed, like, I have no idea. I'm going through a tunnel that doesn't end. My ambition is leading me so many different places that who knows where I'm going to end up. You know what I mean?
When you're when something like that's happening and you're in the process and someone's shooting at you and it's hitting you, what are you thinking?
You're scared.
You're
gonna
like,
die,
I'm gonna
maybe.
die?
Yeah, you're gonna die. Like any other, it's a life-threatening situation. So I mean, and anybody, those things change you because either you become, when you're hurt as bad, somebody halfway kill you, it hurts. You get shot 9 times, you're hurt bad, your hip is fractured, you can't even sit in the chair straight. So from there, either your fear consumes you or you become a little insensitive.
Like somebody who survives a plane crash.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, those type of things happen, and then you have to assess life and death. Even though we know it's our fate, all of us in this room, we know we're going to die at some point, because humans are habit forming, and we look forward to the future. We push that to the back of our minds and still concentrate on saving money for tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in all reality, we're going to go, all of us.
Fuck Tony Robbins. You should put out a fucking self-help.
Yeah, motivational speaker right
Listen up, motherfuckers.
Hey, as a businessman, how's the portfolio? Did you get hit?
Well,
like the rest of us?
Everybody.
Yeah,
I think everybody. I mean, I think if you had
Did you beat
enough,
up your broker?
Well, no, but I made adjustments. Move some motherfucking money around. I mean, if they tell you if they didn't take any losses, they didn't make enough money.
Well,
there you go.
Well, adjustments are like Pesci did in Casino. I want that money back that I invested. No, we can't do that. I'd like it back. I'm going to knock your fucking head off.
Do you worry about you trust everybody that's around you? You keep an eye on your finances and
Well,
shit
my
like that?
circle is getting a lot smaller.
Is it? Yeah.
Of just people that surrounds me anyway. Because
Did you notice there were people that were just kind of,
You know what it is you develop a comfort with people that you know. You feel like you know, but their intentions change.
Right.
Because people every day, they're not the same person. I had my son's mom, I know, for 13 years. I woke up one day, she decided we was enemies. You know what I mean? It's like how many 53% of the people who get married get divorced.
Right.
And I'm sure that there's one side of that party that really don't listen. We don't have to get divorced, do we? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna split up half of everything I've earned. At that point, I'm sure that there would be a compromise on some levels if they could just come to that, to that actual meeting. But the other person is like, no, I'm gonna go give me my half, and that's it.
Ugh,
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it creates a phobia. Financially, I think we condition ourselves without even being conscious of it. Like a little boy, we're gonna give him a car. The car is actually on the street right now. So what does that car equate to? Finances. Because you got to get the money to get the car that he's actually playing with. If it's a Tyco truck, then it's saying work. Because it's saying construction. If it's Hess, it's saying gas. If it's a fire truck, it's saying be a fireman when you get older. And then a little girl, before she's grows into being a little girl, when she's still a baby, we give her a baby.
Yeah,
we give her a
dolls
house.
to play with, yeah.
We give her a cooking set. So we're teaching her nurturing and to actually groom the family at home. These are traditions that we already have. Like when the woman should take care of the home and the man should, you know, be the breadwinner.
Wow.
In different ways, and we're not even, like, a lot of people are not even conscious of it, but we do those things.
We went to the premiere of Righteous Kill, and we saw. We were sitting actually in front of Erwin Winkler, so we saw you having a nice gentlemanly chat. And I'm like, I knew he was somebody. I didn't know who he was. I don't recognize him.
Yeah.
And, but you got up and we, just chit-chatting with him and his wife. And, Erwin Winkler doesn't look like the type of guy that hangs out with 50 Cent. It's just, you picture them two in a car together. You did scenes with Pacino and De Niro together. I mean, you're not nervous rapping. Are you terrified doing that? Because my acting is shit. Which is
it's a learning experience. Definitely when you're with someone that's that great. Their choices have been what we've been watching for, like, decades. Yeah. Like, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro don't get no better than that.
Why do you think hip-hop artists translate so well into acting? Not all of them. I've seen some shit. But I mean, like,
some of us develop a comfort that allows you to be in front of the camera. I'm in front of the camera so often. Look at we here right now. You taping me. It don't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you just relax and be yourself in front of it in different ways. But acting is a whole nother thing. It's the study of human behavior. When you watch other people and kind of take things from them, it makes you more observant. Even when I watch a film, I see it differently now because I see the shot. I see how they shot the scene instead of just watching the film. Before, it would just be sit and look.
Right. Just watching it as a spectator.
Because I know that it took 45 minutes for them to go ahead and change the lights, and they went and said the lines again from a different angle. It was like, so it changes the whole process.
Do you get tired of all the emphasis put on, because I'm sure you and I flew together one time. I'm sure. I remember. Of course he does. We took a flight together to Cancun. We sat next to each other. And we just chit-chatted about the FCC, and then I got, I just shame-spiraled and ran out of things to say. Sat there like a fucking idiot. You were being very engaging.
Sort of like now?
No, but it was, I was actually surprised he was so, soft-spoken, nice dude.
Do you remember him?
I don't remember the actual trip.
Thank you. I just wanted to hear you say it.
What I do is I maintain a general respect for everybody. Regardless, because you don't know how important the person is you're talking to.
Well, in that case, the person you're talking to is not particularly important. But
but what I'm saying is, I don't know when I'm going to run into him.
Right.
Or what that person actually does. He could be somebody that I need in the future to help me move to the next level. And if you don't show that courtesy and respect, I've had the same situation happen, and the president of Lionsgate was sitting across from me in the actual airplane, and I didn't know he was the president of Lionsgate till I got to that point when I'm meeting him. But I recognized him from I said, did we ride on a plane from New York to Los Angeles? He said, yeah. And I remember because he got a head full of white hair. Like, his whole hair is, like, white. So he's one of those guys that you look
just
at
recognize
and go, how the fuck did that happen?
You know what I'm saying? You're either really old or somebody's scared the shit out of you. Yeah. So we were talking about the FCC and how hard it was to get videos and stuff done, and you were saying that there was all these problems that they were giving hip-hop with content. How tired are you to have to explain? You understand, like, it's not your responsibility or my responsibility to raise people's family for them. And how frustrating is that as a performer?
I think that, they'll ask in different positions. They'll ask the craziest questions. They'll try to place the weirdest responsibilities on entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, the pro athlete, because, their kids want to be those pro athletes and join them, they create dress codes.
Yeah.
Now you got to wear a suit. Period. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these guys come from environments that come from not having. So their tattoos read the same as mine. When they get on the court, you see things that reflect the same energy and the mentality that lives where I actually come from. But they got to wear a suit because it's mandatory now.
It's got to be ridiculous.
I know you had a problem with the billboard with the guns in your hand, I guess.
Yeah. When I was doing Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? There's standards that are completely acceptable in different art forms. Like if I mention 007,
right?
What do you think of? The logo is the gun pointed at you.
Yeah.
If you think of Rambo, what is the highlight in that? What Terminator? All of these things, the gun is the star of the actual film.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so when you actually, those things are acceptable in film to utilize for marketing purposes. When you think of even what's the name? At the time it was Angelina and Brad was in the same movie, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
And they had the guns out at the same time, and then nobody had an issue with that. The problem is they look at me and says, "No, you don't understand. He fucking has that gun right now."
You might. I mean, it's true.
We're certainly all wondering.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Spielberg went back and took the guns. They computer generated ET, and they put walkie-talkies in the agents like that, so they wouldn't have guns.
Enough already.
A little silly.
How upset were you when McCain lost? Were you upset about that?
I wasn't.
You were upset about it.
Okay, I mean, but I'd like the taxes to be low, but
Yeah, that's my big beef. I'm just like, I don't fall in that category of the people
What's
that
your
get
name,
a check back.
Heather, and your name? David. Why y'all get the chance to sit way back there like that?
Well, they're just listeners.
Huh?
Opie invited us in to see.
Oh, you just by saying
They're listeners, and
Thanks
they
for
were sitting
coming.
outside.
We have people
No,
just
it's fine. I was just trying to figure out like why they had to be so far back over there.
We had bleachers outside with some.
Huh?
They make us sit back here.
Yeah.
We're not allowed up.
No, we get a live audience every day.
I never did that before. Like with that color hair, it grows that color everywhere.
Well, it was at one point, but now.
Oh, it's clean as a baby. I understand. I understand.
You prefer it like that? I prefer it like that. I prefer it. Nothing there.
But I never saw that before. I was just saying.
Yeah, that's got to be,
No.
Well, we got to get them out of here.
Fiery red mane.
They all got their coats on outside.
Oh,
They're
the coats on?
panicking. Yeah, they want.
I enjoyed myself. This definitely wasn't painful.
Very cool meeting you, man.